So long, and thank you for returning to the channel. I am present to welcome you. We have been hoping that XRP will soon reach a new all-time high for what feels like an eternity, nearly 7 years, and now I can say that. The price discovery phase is likely to begin, as is customary. Isn't it evident from XRP's performance in November that it will be actively participating in this bull run? In the end, how will your life change if you get your hands on the wealth that will alter it forever? After you've made that profit, what's the next step? What you plan to do with that money, spend it, invest it, or whatever is something I won't even touch on. You should be aware of the financial consequences. Which one I am referring to? Well, I think it's time we started talking about this. Because our channel is mostly about Bitcoin, I don't talk about this very much. As of right now, the market is in the red. The time to start saving is right now. However, a bull run like this one doesn't happen very often. Everyone knows now. We are soaring. Also know what you're talking about and how this will affect your bank account. I wanted to share this thread I observed a few days ago from lawyer Jeremy Hogan with you. I thought it was really incredible. So I'd like to tell you about some of his ideas on the matter. Although this would have the greatest impact on Americans, I will say it anyhow. I am aware that some parts of the globe do not require taxes. Still, if you happen to reside in a region where taxes are a major issue, you can find yourself delving into accounting-related inquiries you normally wouldn't. In addition, I will state this as if doing the right thing were completely crucial. For example, I'm aware that some of their loved ones experience this desire, or at least act as if they do when they talk about it online. The Webernets are boasting on social media about how they've decided to dodge their legally owed taxes. No, I'm not a fan of that concept. You should endeavor to alter the existing tax legislation if you are dissatisfied with it, regardless of your position. Launch a political movement if you want to make a difference in politics or elsewhere. Anytime you feel the need to lobby, whether at the government or someone else, it is quite permissible. It is not acceptable to disobey a law simply because you dislike it. Avoid doing that. That is going to hurt you in the long run. This needs to be noticed by everyone. To start, let me say that I am completely unprepared when it comes to money matters. Do not base your financial decisions on my recommendations. Being a financial counselor isn't something I do for fun. Cryptocurrencies and related subjects are also some of my hobbies, which I express through YouTube videos. I am just an ardent follower. This is what attorney Jeremy Hogan asserted. Can you see a profit from your cryptocurrency portfolio? This makes sense to me. Now let's talk about taxes. The basics of cryptocurrency taxes are laid out as the year winds down. The tax treatment of cryptocurrencies as an asset is analogous to that of stocks. Conflicts with the Internal Revenue Service are serious business. Sell all of your Bitcoin. That section of the remarks is the one I want to focus on. If I were to whack it, would that be okay? Or refrain from interfering with the Internal Revenue Service at any costs. Pay the money that is owing and required by law. He elaborates by saying that criminals shouldn't use cryptocurrency because of how easy it is to track their transactions. So it's not the best choice for keeping money under wraps. No amount of hiding XRP on a ledger beneath your pants will prevent the IRS from seizing it. Comparable to traditional assets, cryptocurrency is subject to taxation only upon sale or use. The tax due is equal to the sum of the basis, the original purchase price less the selling price. In order to show that you are disobeying, you should keep track of the money you spend on XRP, especially if you're using decentralized exchanges or something similar. Making sure you show the inverse is crucial. This is why the capacity to monitor such matters is crucial for you to have. What follows is Attorney Hogan's statement. It needs to be stressed. He warns that the IRS will assume you haven't paid taxes and that you can end up paying full price if you can't show evidence of payment. Pay close attention to what he just stated, please. Ensure that you jot down that location. That is absolutely vital. There are programs that can help with this, he continues to emphasize. At the end of the year, you will receive documentation from centralized exchanges that conform with those requirements. This evidence will indicate your cost base and sales. Here we can take a short break. Anyone in the United States with even a passing interest in cryptocurrency during the past year has likely already heard this. Even the most difficult tasks are within their capabilities. Do not assume that you will be able to avoid these consequences if you opt out of that method and instead engage in decentralized financial activity or DeFi. Oh, please never again. Unfortunately, it will. Get 10 times what you put in. Put yourself in the shoes of an investor who, following a string of poor mistakes, believed they could get away with it for a bit before the world came crashing down around them. No payments may be made when the Internal Revenue Service IRS finally comes up. Dude, you simply cannot and do not desire it. Get down to brass tacks and live your life honestly. Lead an honest life and be virtuous. It is acceptable if you feel strongly about the unfairness or dislike of taxation. On an ideological level, you are not constrained in holding any particular belief. I will not broach that subject with you. Just get things done, I'm telling you. After then, do what I've just said and try to modify it or fight against it. As a citizen, you are well within your rights to seek out ways to influence change. Doing so is not problematic. Next, he elaborated on that. Although Bitcoin transfers between wallets or between wallets and exchanges are not considered taxable events, it is critically important to monitor them in order to determine your first cost basis in the end. More on long-term capital gains and their tax implications in a bit. The recommended amount of time to allow it to settle is 1 year. Although many would be interested in seeing what happened if you simply moved it, what would happen if you brought it inside? Could you tell me what happens when you power it back up? It is indeed movable. Attorney Hogan even alludes to this. This means that whether or not your assets are published on an exchange, just transferring them across wallets will not affect their value. From a tax perspective, he suggests keeping an eye on your cost base, but he goes on to say that conversions between cryptocurrencies might be subject to taxation. Yes, I understand. I also think it's terrible. From an IRS perspective, it's the same as selling one cryptocurrency and immediately purchasing another. So if the price of Bitcoin goes up to $1,000, you can buy $500 worth of Bitcoin and then turn it into XRP. When Bitcoin reaches $1,000, he's talking about that moment. Your recent $500 taxable income is leverage that he uses to his advantage. It is also perplexing to me. However, that is the honest reality. Another perk of buying cryptocurrencies in the US is that Uncle Sam gets a cut of your taxes. Still another reason why it's a bad idea to use cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange right now. Something has to change. It may not be true in every country, but that doesn't change the fact that it's foolish. How long it takes is anybody's guess. Since Trump's administration will be the first to officially support Bitcoin, things are sure to change once he takes office on January 20th in the United States. A few minutes is all it will take. I think the outcome will be satisfactory for us. He proceeds to wonder, how much is the tax on cryptocurrency considered a stock then? The short-term capital gains tax must be paid if the taxable event occurs within 1 year after the transaction. I am not a fan of this. To put it plainly, this is considered a steady stream of revenue. Any cryptocurrency profits you make will be subject to a 32% tax rate if your tax bracket is that high. A 24% additional tax will be due if your annual income is between $47,000 and $100,000, etc., if your long-term capital gains routinely outweigh your short-term gains. Thus, to reap the benefits of long-term capital gains, it is recommended to hold onto your Bitcoin for a minimum of 1 year. A capital gains tax of 15% is applicable to most readers on Bitcoin held for 1 year or more. Your interest in the IRS makes you seem like a hodler, at least to me. It is critical to buy during a down market. Plus, this has always been my lifelong goal. You should therefore avoid getting into and out of such situations at all costs, especially if you are in the US.